So I'm a fucking idiot, and I completely forgot to show off two things that I really wanted to show off in this video. So I decided I was going to record me showing them off in a different spot, because I couldn't recreate it, because I can do that. So anyway, I wanted to show off two things. First is this Song of Achilles glass that I got from the Unplugged book box website. They have it on sale as a single item if you would like to purchase it. Here, I'll show it to you up close. Is my camera gonna focus? It says, "He is half my soul," as the poets say, in case you can't read that. And it has laurels and the two hands meeting. So that's fucking lit. And another thing is something that you can buy from my friend Sheep Whisperer on Instagram. It's actually sheep, or no, it's _sheep_whisperer, I believe. I will double check, and I will leave a link in the description down below. But anyway, he made me this wonderful fox. So the camera isn't focusing very well on it because my camera is my phone camera and it's shit. But it's this adorable little fox, and I love it so much. It's so cute! Right now it's sitting right above my All for the Game books, which is perfect. And it's also sitting next to my Dino Tea Infuser that I named Neil. So, it's so good, and I love it so much. So yeah, I'll leave a link to his Instagram in the description down below. You can go check out his work. I love it, honestly. I am making him some frames for it in exchange for some art. I'm getting 2 pins and a painting. The painting and one of the pins are going to be Raven Cycle themed, but I won't give you any more detail because I want it to be kind of a surprise. But anyway, look forward to that. And without further ado, let's get on to my June wrap-up. So I read 7 books in June. One was a library book, so I'm gonna have the cover on the screen. But the rest I own, and they're all amazing books, actually. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. The first book that I read was part of the Queer Lit Readathon, and that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. So, if y'all know anything about me, you know that I love me some non-binary representation. And this book is peak non-binary representation, because it's written by a non-binary author. So, it's just an amazing contemporary about this non-binary person who gets kicked out of their house and has to go live with their sister. And then they meet, this guy at school who's, just trying to be their friend. And, it's just fucking quality, okay? Fucking quality. I put it on my favorites list. It's so good. And if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. The next book I also read as part of the Queer Lit Readathon, and that is Not Your Backup by C.V. Lee. So this is the 3rd book in the Sidekick Squad series, so I can't say too much about the plot, but I can tell you that it deals with Emma, who is the main character in this book, and it follows her journey on where she fits in the asexual and the aromantic spectrum. So it's lit as fuck, in my opinion, and something happens at the very end of the book that I've never seen happen in a book before. So I was super fucking hype. I don't know if I like this one or Not Your Villain more, because I just love Bells so much. So I don't know. But I also added this to my favorite shelf because it is a fucking great book. Next up is another book that I read for the Queer Lit Readathon, and that is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. So, this comic is fucking adorable, and I love Alice Oseman so much. I can't wait Volume 2 has been released, and I've just been slacking, and I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to, like, ASAP, because, like, it is so good. And, you know, it's just, like, it's in black and white, but, like, I don't feel like it suffers from that. Like, I still think it's just fucking quality. So, like, if you like graphic novels, you like gay love stories, this is the book for you, fam. Because it's adorable as fuck. The last book that I read for the Queer Lit Readathon was The Other Boy, which I got from the library. And that's why I don't have it to show you. So this is just about a trans boy trying to be a trans boy. You know, I think he's like 9, 10? It's a middle grade book. And so he's 9 or 10, maybe 11. I don't know what age he is. He's just starting puberty, is the point. Because there's a big... I'm just gonna tell ya. It's not really a spoiler, because it happens, like, fairly early on in the book. But, like, basically he's coming off of puberty blockers and wants to go on testosterone. And his parents are like... Well, his mom is, like, completely chill with the whole thing. His dad is like, no... I don't want you to go on testosterone yet. I ended up giving it 5 stars, because, you know, that's how I do things. And, like, it obviously wasn't own voices, but, like, I appreciated it nonetheless. I'm glad it exists. I'm very glad it exists, because, like, I think a lot of, like, trans, like, children, I guess, they're not teenagers yet, so, like... They're children, right? That's how that works. So yeah, a lot of trans children, like, will, like, find themselves in this book and, like, relate to it. Even though it's, like, not one of my favorite books, and it was probably my least favorite book that I read during the Queer Lit Readathon, it was still good. Still gave it 5 stars. And, like, if you want to read a middle grade about a trans boy, it's pretty good. So read it if you want to read that kind of book. And then the next book that I read, not part of the Queer Lit Readathon, just, you know, reading in general, was Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. So I actually started this in May. I started this on May 31st, and then the Queer Lit Readathon happened, and I stopped it. And then I resumed reading it after the Queer Lit Readathon ended. And it's about, like, toxic relationships. It's a female-female romance, and it's basically, like, just about, like, toxic relationships and, like, how to deal with them. It's set in high school, but it doesn't really have, like, that high school drama feel to it, you know? Like, the drama, like, feels, like, real, and, like, I actually kind of got something out of this book, like, with regards to toxic relationships. So I really liked this book. And even though it cost me a lot of money, I'm glad I got it. It's a graphic novel, by the way. Here's, like, the art. I think it's really cool, and it's kind of like Bloom in the sense that, like, it has one distinct, like, color scheme, and it sticks to that. So I really liked that. It's also by the same, like, publishing company, so I thought that was really cool, too. It's one of the reasons why I bought it. But yeah, so if you are interested in reading about toxic relationships and how to deal with them, I highly suggest this graphic novel. Next, I read... Now that the more I think about it, it's like one of my favorite standalones, and that is How to Be a Normal Person. So this follows a guy named Gus who lives in a very small town. He works at a video rental store, and he doesn't have the internet. And then he runs into this asexual stoner named Casey, and so it deals with him, like, trying to, like, figure out his feelings for Casey, and it's a quality fucking book. It's hilarious. Like, it's genuinely one of the funniest books that I've read. I, like, genuinely laughed out loud while reading this book. So, like, I don't know, it's so good. And, like, it's not that long, so, like, it was a nice book to read because it made my asexual heart happy, and, like, Gus is just such a funny and oddly relatable character. So, like, I don't know. I just loved it a lot. And then finally, because I'm trying to do at least one book a month off of my name TBR, I read Autobiography. And, you know, it was, I mean, okay. So, like, I gave it 5 stars. And let me explain to you why. I thought it handled the relationship between sexuality and religion very, very well. And as someone who, like, knows people who, like, struggle with that, like, I think this book would be good for those people. Like, I think it would be very good for those people, honestly. So I'm glad it exists. Some people don't like it because of the, like, self-insert. Someone called it self-insert fan fiction because he has to write a novel and he writes about, like, his time with the boy he has a crush on. But, like, I don't feel like that's fan fiction. I feel like it's just an autobiography or an autoboyography, as the title implies. I don't feel like it's fan fiction. So I didn't really have an issue with that. And yeah, I mean, it is kind of cringy, I guess. Like, that aspect, anyway. I don't think the actual relationship is that cringy. I think the actual relationship is, like, pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I liked it. And I gave it 5 stars. And I'm glad it exists because, you know, I definitely know there's people out there who struggle with their sexuality and religion not exactly meeting and meshing well together. So, you know, I'm glad this exists out there for them to read. I tried to actually recommend it to someone I know who is like that, and I don't know if he's going to read it, but I did my best in trying to get him to read it. So anyway, hopefully he reads it, because, like, I feel like he would get a lot out of this book. Much more than I did, honestly. And I, like, enjoyed it. So, like, yeah. I'm glad it exists. Those are all the books that I read in June. My July wrap-up will hopefully be kind of similar-ish, in the sense that I'm gonna hopefully read a bunch of books the next week, because next week is the reading rush. I'm very hype, because I'm in, like, a mini reading slump right now, I guess, because, like, I don't, like, feel like reading, but I think that's just because I know the reading rush is next week, and I want to save, like, all of my reading motivation for that week. So, as if I have, like, you know, like, I'm saving up my spoons, essentially, even though, like, that's really not how spoon theory works, but, like, it makes sense in my head, and, like, I don't know. We're making our way downtown. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.